The Watsons Go to Birmingham, 1963, written by Christopher Paul Curtis. Welcome back, warrior friends. We are in the middle of chapter 1 from Watsons Go to Birmingham, 1963. The title of our chapter is, And You Wonder Why We Get Called the Weird Watsons. And when we left off, older brother Byron and his younger brother Kenny were outside scraping the ice off of their car windows. And Kenny was really worried about his brother getting out of doing the work, and he thought he might have to do all of the car windows. Let's see what happens. So as me and Grace scraped the ice off the brown bomber, I wasn't going to get fooled again. I kept on chopping the ice off the back window, and I ignored Byron's mumbling voice. Now, the next time I took a little rest, Byron was still calling my name, but it sounded like he had something in his mouth. He was saying, Key, help, help. When he started banging on the door of the car, I went to take a peek at what was going on. Bi was leaned over the outside mirror looking at something in it really close. Big puffs of steam were coming out of the side of the mirror. I picked up a big, hard chunk of ice to get ready for Byron's trick. Key, help me go get Ma, hurry up. I'm not playing, Byron. I am not that stupid. You better start doing your side of the car or I'll tear you up with this ice ball. He banged his hand against the car harder and started stomping his feet. Oh, please, Key, help me go get Ma. I raised the ice chunk up over my head. I'm not playing, Byron. You better get busy or I'm telling Dad. I moved closer, and when I got right next to him, I could see boogers running out of his nose and tears running down his cheeks. And these weren't tears from the cold neither. These were big, juicy, crybaby tears. I dropped my ice chunk. Bi, what's wrong? Help, King, go get help. I moved in closer. I couldn't believe my eyes. Byron's mouth was frozen on the mirror. He was stuck as a fly on flypaper. Now, I could have done a lot of stuff to him. If it had been me with my lips stuck on something like this, he would have tortured me for a couple of days before he got help. Not me, though. I nearly broke my neck trying to get into the house to rescue Byron. As soon as I ran through the front door, Mama, Dad, and Joey all yelled, "Close that door!" "Mama, quick, it's Bi. He's froze up outside." No one seemed too impressed. I screamed, "Really? He's froze to the car! Help, he's crying!" Now that shook them up. You could have cut Byron's head off and he probably wouldn't cry. "Kenneth Bernard Watson, what on earth are you talking about?" "Mama, please, hurry up." The fly was stuck and Joey threw on some extra coats and followed me out to the brown
get
bomber.
me out of here.
"Oh my Lord," Mama screamed, and I thought she was going to do one of those movie-style faints. She even put her hand up over her forehead and staggered back a little bit. Joey, of course, started crying right along with Byron. And Dad? He was doing his best not to explode laughing. Big puffs of smoke were coming out of his nose and mouth as he tried to squeeze his laugh down. Finally, he put his head on his arms and he leaned against the car's hood and howled. "Byron," Mama said, gently wiping the tears off his cheeks with the end of her scarf. "It's okay, sweetheart. How'd this happen?" She sounded like she was going to be crying any minute herself. Dad raised his head and he said, "Why are you asking how it happened? Can't you tell, Walona? This little knucklehead was kissing his reflection in the mirror and got his lips stuck." Dad took a really deep breath. "Is your tongue stuck too?" "No, quit teasing, Daddy. Help! Help!" Well, at least the boy hadn't got too passionate with himself. Dad thought that was hilarious and put his head back on his arms. Mama didn't see anything funny. Daniel, Watson, what are we gonna do? What do y'all do when this stuff happens up here? Mama started talking real Southern style when she got worried, and instead of saying here, she said here, and instead of saying you all, she said y'all. Dad stopped laughing long enough to say, well, Lona, I have lived in Flint all my life, 35 years, and I swear this is the first time I've ever seen anyone with their lips frozen to a mirror. Honey, I don't know what to do. Wait until it thaws out? Pull him off, Dad, I suggested, and Byron went nuts. He banged his hands on the side of the Brown Bomber's door again and mumbled, no, no, Mama, don't let him. Joey blubbered out, oh, this is like that horrible story that Kenny read me about that guy, Narcissi, who stared at himself so long that he forgot to eat and he starved to death. Mommy, please save him. She went over and she hugged her arms around stupid Byron's waist. Mama asked Dad, what about hot water? Couldn't we pour enough hot water on the mirror so it would warm up and we could get him off? She kept wiping tears off of Byron's cheeks and said, don't worry, baby, we're going to get you off of this. But her voice was so shaky and so Southern that I wondered if we'd be driving around in the summer with a skeleton dangling from the outside mirror by its lips. Dad said, I don't know. Pouring water on him might be the worst thing to do. But it might be our only chance. Why don't you go get some hot tap water and I'll stay here and wipe his cheeks. Joey told Bi, don't worry, we'll come right back. She stood on her tippy toes and gave Bi a kiss. Then she and Mama ran inside. And Dad cracked up all over again. Well, lover boy, I guess this means no one can call you hot lips, can they? Dad was killing himself. Or the last of the red hot lovers either, huh? He pulled on Byron's ear just a little bit, pulling his face back. And Bi went nuts again. Don't do that, Ma. Ma, help. Kenny, go get Ma. Hoey. Well, I guess that's not going to work, is it? Every time he wiped away the tears, and a little mustache of boogers was on Byron's lip, and Dad couldn't help but laugh, until a little river of tears was coming out of his eyes, too. Dad tried to straighten his face out when Mama and Joey came running back with a steaming glass of hot water, but the tears were still running down his cheeks. Mama tried to pour water on the mirror, but her hands were shaking so much that she splashed it all over the place, and Dad tried too, but he couldn't look at Byron without laughing and shaking, so that meant I had to do it. Now, I knew if my lips were frozen on something and everybody was shaking too much to pour water on them except for Byron, he would do some really cruel stuff to me. He'd probably have accidentally splashed my eyes until they were frozen open, or put water in my ears until I couldn't hear anything, but not me. I gently poured a little stream of water over the mirror. Dad was right. This was the worst thing we could do. The water made a crackling sound and froze solid as soon as it touched the mirror and Bi's lips. Maybe Bi's mouth was frozen, but his hands sure weren't, because he'd popped me right in the forehead. Hard. And I hate to say it, but I started crying too. No wonder our neighbors call us the weird Watsons behind our backs. There we were, all 5 of us standing around the car. The temperature was about 1,000,000 degrees below zero, and each and every one of us was crying. Top, Byron yelled. Daniel Watson, What are we gonna do? Mama went nuts. You gotta get this boy to the hospital. My baby's gonna die. Dad tried to look serious really quick. Well, Lona, how far do you think I'm gonna get driving down the street with this little clown attached to the mirror? What am I supposed to do? Have him run beside the car all the way down to the emergency room? Mama looked real close at Byron's mouth. She closed her eyes for a second, like she was praying. And finally, she said, Daniel, you get in there and you call the hospital and you see what they say to do. Joey and Kenny, you go with your daddy. Dad and Joey went crying into the house, but I stayed by the brown bomber. I figured Mama was clearing everybody out for something, and Byron did too. I looked at Mama in a real nervous way. Mama put her scarf around Byron's face and she said, Sweetheart, you know we're gonna have to do something. I want to try and warm your face up just a little bit, so just relax. Okay, Mama. Now you know I love you, and I wouldn't do anything to hurt you, right? If Mama was trying to make Byron relax, she wasn't doing a very good job of it. All this talk about love and not getting hurt, it was making him really nervous. What are you gonna do? Huh? Don't hurt me. Kenny, help. Mama moved the scarf away and she put one hand on Byron's chin and she put the other one on his forehead. No, help me, Kenny. Mama gave Byron's head a good, hard snatch. And my eyes automatically shut, and my hands automatically flew up to cover my ears, and my mouth automatically opened up and screamed, Yo! I didn't see it, but I bet Byron's lips stretched a mile before they let go of that mirror. I bet his lips looked like a giant rubber band before they snapped away from that glass. I didn't hear it, but I bet Byron's lips made the sound like a giant piece of paper being ripped in half. When I opened my eyes, Byron was running to the house with his hands up over his mouth, and Mama was following right behind him. I ran over to the mirror to see how much of Byron's mouth was still there. The dirty dogs, they let Byron get out of doing his share of the windows, and I had to do the whole car by myself. When we were finally going to Aunt Sydney's house, I decided to pay Byron back for punching me in the forehead and for getting out of doing his side of the window scraping. Joey was sitting in between us, so I felt kind of safe. I said to her out loud, Hey, Joetta, guess what? I'm thinking about writing my own comic book. What about? Well, it's going to be about this really mean criminal who has a terrible accident that turns him into a superhero. Joey knew that I was going to tease Byron, so she sat there looking like I should be careful about what I said. Finally, I asked her, Do you know what I'm going to call this new superhero? What? I'm going to call him the Lipless Wonder. All he can do is beat up superheroes smaller than him, and the only thing he's afraid of is a cold mirror. All of the Weird Watsons cracked up, except for Byron. Mama's hand flew up and covered her mouth. I was the only one who saw Byron flip me the dirty finger sign and tried to whisper without smearing all the Vaseline on Mama had put on his lips. You wait, I'm going to kick your little behind. Then he made his eyes grow crossed, which was his favorite way of teasing me. But I didn't care. I knew who had won this time. I love chapter 1. It's probably one of my favorite chapters. All right, join me again next time for chapter 2, which is titled Give My Regards to Clark Poindexter. See you soon.